In today's lesson, we are going to be talking about patterns in data. So the first thing that you're going to do is your warm-up journal prompt, and you will need to choose between one of these two questions. So the first one is, when browsing the internet, what's the weirdest thing an ad has ever tried to get you to buy? Or number two, when sending a message, what's the funniest thing autocomplete has suggested to finish a sentence? Pause the video here so that you can complete this journal. So one of I think a very common autocorrect involves the word duck. And usually nobody's talking about actual ducks that quack. Okay. Yeah. There are plenty of situations where artificial intelligence has made the wrong decision. And that can happen when information is missing or is incorrect relating to how AI makes its decisions. And the examples that we can think of show that computers make recommendations for us pretty often, but they aren't always very effective. Today, in this lesson, we will see how we can improve the way a computer makes recommendations. We will ask a computer to recommend what type of shoes we should wear for the day, and see several ways a computer might make this decision. So, our question of the day is, what strategies do computer models use to make decisions? Our key vocabulary term right now is going to be model. And I want you to remember that a machine learning model is just a computer program designed to make a decision. In this lesson, we're going to look at several apps and try to understand the model they are using to make decisions. Some of these apps may be making decisions in a very clear and sophisticated way, and others maybe not so much. So let's go ahead and download the Patterns in Activity Patterns in Data Activity Guide, and let's go to Code Studio. Before we complete anything on the activity guide, we're going to look at Lesson 4, Level 1, and it's going to look like this. So once you get to Lesson 4, Level 1, run this app several times. See if you can get each of the 4 recommendations, and then make a prediction. How do you think this model is making its decision? We want to make sure that what we are going to be doing is not, we want to make sure that we can fill in the activity guide as we go. And so we haven't quite gotten to the activity guide yet, but this is what it looks like. And it'll make more sense in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and run the app several times. We recommend. Oh, wow. Okay. See if you can get each of the 4 recommendations. So there are 4 recommendations. So far, we've only gotten cowboy boots. Okay, now we've gotten house shoes. House shoes again. Ugh, jeez. Okay. Well, at least that's 3. Okay, we're getting them again. Oh my goodness. All right. So I wonder what the 4th one is. Oh, there we go. Some dress shoes I would definitely never wear. All right, make a prediction. How do you think the app is making its decisions? You can definitely add your prediction to the group discussion, the Unit 6 discussion board, for sure. Run. Recommend. 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 Now I got all 4. Recommend. 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 I don't know. Maybe it's making the decision based on how long it takes for you to click. Nope. No idea. So, is this program helpful in deciding, is this program helpful for deciding shoes? I'm going to go with a no, because it doesn't take into consideration anything. All you're doing is clicking a button. Okay, so it's a no for me. And if anybody has anything different, like if you do think it's helpful, then feel free to add why on the discussion board. So, the shoe recommender. This is a basic description of the app, okay? So, the intended use is I can predict what shoes someone should wear. I make random guesses about what shoes you should wear. Each time you run the app, a new shoe will get recommended. That's exactly how it felt. Completely random. Absolutely. So, what would improve this model to help it make better decisions? And we kind of talked this, I kind of said this when I was talking about how it was not helpful in deciding shoes. And that's because one thing that could help improve the model is getting user input. So if I'm wearing a dress, maybe that can narrow down. I don't need to wear house shoes with a dress. No, I sure don't. Or men's dress shoes with a dress, unless I'm going for a very particular look. But what we're going to do now is look at level 2, and this is an improved shoe recommender. Okay. You're going to run the app several times, see if you can get each of the 6 recommendations, and then make a prediction. Run it. No, I'm sorry, I'm still on level 1. Okay, go back. No, not back, go forward. Improved shoe recommender. Okay, so this app uses a computer model to help make a decision about what shoes to wear. There are 6 different recommendations the app can make for what shoes to wear. Run the app several times. See if you can get it. Oh, is it raining outside? No. What kind of day is it? Casual. Oh, Okay, let's see. Is it raining outside? No. We want to try to get all 6 options. So you're going to have 3 options for the no and 3 options for the yes. So keep going, and then let's look at, I want you to think about how you think this improved shoe recommender is making its decision. Is it more or less helpful for deciding shoes than the last program? So pause the video here if you need to finish playing around to see if you can get all 6 options. All right, let's look at how this program works. So you're giving 2 options for your answer. Yes or no for is it raining? If you say yes, it's going to go this way. And then you have 3 options for your next question. Based on your response to the second question, it's going to recommend a pair of shoes. And the same thing is going to be the same thing. What kind of day is today? Casual, fancy, or sports? It's going to recommend a pair of shoes based on your input, so user input. Some selections are hidden behind other choices that may not be ideal. For example, this model only has you wear sneakers when it's raining and sports cleats when it's not raining. This decision tree needs to be rearranged based on your own experiences for when to wear shoes. Or these decisions may not represent all people who want to use the app. For example, if it's like a sporty kind of day, that does not mean for me that I'm going to be wearing cleats, okay? It just kind of means like sweatpants or like gym shorts and tennis shoes. But the only option for tennis shoes is over here for when it's raining and you're going to be indoors. So it's important to get input from our users to help make the decision rather than relying on our own personal experiences, since they may not represent all situations. And like on the flip side, I probably would not recommend cleats at all, unless, what kind of day is it today? Competition day on the soccer field. Then I might recommend cleats, okay? But otherwise, because the only pair of cleats I think I've ever owned were for cross country. So this improved shoe recommender, the intended use is that it can predict what shoes someone should wear. And it uses a decision tree to make decisions. After answering several questions, a shoe is recommended. So, do you agree with the questions that were asked and how the shoes were assigned? Who do you think decided which shoes went with each answer? I want you to post your response to these 2 questions on the discussion board, okay? Pause the video here so that you can do that. And then when you come back, we're going to be going to Code Studio. So pause the video here so you can answer these questions on the discussion board. Okay, let's go back to Code Studio. Lesson 4, Level 3. We are collecting data to help with our shoe recommender app. So what we're going to do is take the survey to help gather data about what shoes we should be recommending. You can take the survey multiple times and pretend you're in a different situation, such as pretending it's the weekend, pretending you're going to a party, or pretending you are sick and not feeling well. Let's go ahead and click finish so we can go on to the next Oh, it's a Google form. Okay. Where do you plan to spend time today? Rainy, snowy, sunny, windy. Do you plan on wearing socks? Okay. How would you describe your plans for today? Do you want people to notice and compliment your shoes? Ah, very interesting. Okay. So after you submit the form, pause the video here so that you can go complete this form. And then after you submit it, come back and let's watch this video. See what happens with our data.
Once we've gathered all of our data through our survey, we can view that data in a big table. Each column in our table represents one of the questions that we asked in the survey, and each row represents how someone answered that question. If I scroll through this table, there's a lot of data. It looks like 500 people answered this survey. Trying to go through each row of data is a little too much for us to do right now, but we can use data visualization tools to help us explore this data more. We're going to use a type of table called a crosstab. A crosstab lets us compare two questions from our survey. I can compare how people said they were going to spend their time and what shoe they said they were going to wear. In this table, I can see the answers to my question on the left-hand side, and I can see what shoes people were going to wear across the top. In the middle, I can see the answers to these two questions as they relate to each other. For example, if someone said they were going to spend their time in bed, 13 of those people said they were going to wear Crocs, and none of those people said they were going to wear dress shoes. Some cells in this table are colored in more than the others. These are hot spots in our data, which indicate that these answers have a strong relation with each other. For example, if someone said they were going to spend their time indoors, there seems to be a hot spot that indicates a lot of those people also said they were going to wear tennis shoes. This indicates that if I know someone will spend their time indoors, I might want to recommend tennis shoes. We can explore each of these questions to find different sets of hotspots. For example, if someone knows that it's going to be snowy outside, none of our people that we surveyed were going to wear sandals or tennis shoes, but there's a slight hotspot over here with work boots. We want to notice patterns and trends across each row so that we can make a statement about people who tend to answer that it's windy outside also tend to wear this type of shoe. In this case, tennis shoes. Looking across all of our questions and combining all of our observations together is one way that we can take our data and turn it into a model that we can use in our app to make decisions. And that process starts by looking for hotspots and noticing patterns and trends in the data.
All right, so now we will come to our activity guide, and you're probably thinking, okay, yeah, what we looked at earlier definitely makes a lot more sense. What you're going to do is complete this activity by finding patterns and trends in the data using the crosstab charts. So we are given crosstab charts to start out. All right, a survey has been given to 500 people to help decide what types of shoes to recommend. Using the data, we need to identify any patterns or trends in the data that can help our model make predictions, and we should look for hotspots in the data where there are large clusters of answers and then use that to identify trends. So first off, whoever said they were going to be spending their time in bed and wanted to wear cowboy boots, they were lying. Okay. And whoever wants to wear cowboy boots in the city, what city is this? Dallas? Okay. No offense to anybody who likes to wear cowboy boots, but like the boots I have, they don't have the rubber sole. All right. They've got the hard sole. So they're not always comfortable. Okay, so we're looking at the shoe preference. Indoors, they prefer dress shoes. In the city, they prefer tennis shoes. Or when they're indoors, they prefer tennis shoes. They want to wear work boots if they're in the city or in nature. Okay, so people who answer this also tend to wear this. People who answer bed tend to wear sandals. People who answer city tend to wear tennis shoes. See, that's what I would choose. Like, if I'm going to be walking around New York City, I am not wearing anything besides tennis shoes. Okay. People who are going to be indoors prefer to wear tennis shoes. Honestly, we should just wear tennis shoes. Okay. People who want to spend time in nature also tend to wear work boots. Honestly, I really think we just need a greater variety of shoes, because work boots, you have hiking boots and you have work boots. If you're wearing work boots, you're probably not in nature. You're probably like in a construction site. Okay. So but you know, whatever. We're splitting hairs at this point. Okay, what is the weather like today? People who answered rainy tend to wear work boots. People who answer snowy tend to wear work boots. Who did they survey here? People who said sunny tend to wear tennis shoes. People who say windy tend to wear tennis shoes. Honestly, I don't think windy really affects your shoe. Okay, again, sorry. Splitting hairs. Okay, do you plan on wearing socks? If you said no, you're probably going to wear sandals. But if you said yes, and you are in high school, you're still probably going to wear sandals. Okay, sorry. Not sorry. All right. People who said yes tend to wear tennis shoes or boots. So that's fun. Question number 4. How would you describe your plans for today? Finish this. People who answer blank also tend to wear blank. And then, do you want people to notice and compliment your shoes? People who answer blank also tend to wear blank. Using the data from all 5 questions, describe a recommendation you think the model can make based on the answers to several questions. You can use these sentence starters to help. Our model should recommend shoe blank when people select the following answers: this, this, or this, A, B, or C. Okay, so you're just going to complete this, and then you're going to submit it to Schoology, okay? Using trends from all 5 questions, what are some shoes we can recommend based on patterns in the data? I want you to share it on the discussion board, since you can't share it out. So share it on the discussion board. Our key vocabulary right now: feature. It is an input that the model uses to make decisions. And then the label is the output you are trying to decide or predict. So, features, these are inputs: where they spend their time, what the weather is, socks, the day, if they want somebody to notice their shoes. And then the label, we're trying to predict what type of shoe they should wear. So, the ultimate shoe recommender we are about to look at, and AI Bot made this with the intended use to predict what shoes someone should wear. And this is how the model works. It uses patterns and trends and data to find strong relationships between features and the label that it wants to predict. So here's the data that it was trained from: a survey with 500 responses. So go ahead and go to Code Studio, Lesson 4, Level 4, Ultimate Shoe Recommender. This is what it's going to look like. You have a lot more options now for user input. So see if you can get the app to recommend shoes that match the patterns that we saw in the data. So remember, if somebody's going to be indoors, what type of shoe did they say they wanted to wear? Let's see if we can get that answer. Pause the video here and try to get the answers that you got on your activity guide. We saw in this lesson how you can take data and use it to create a model that makes recommendations, but analyzing that data took a little bit of time. Even for a short survey like this, imagine if there were 20 questions instead of 3, or if you were recommending a whole outfit instead of just shoes. In the next lesson, we will see one of the strategies that a computer uses to make it easier to turn data into a model. And the whole outfit instead of a shoes, there are websites that do that. Okay, you tell them things that you like, and they recommend an outfit based on that. Okay, so the last part is our journal wrap-up, and you are going to answer these 2 questions. If you could add another question to the shoe survey, what question would you ask? And why do you think that question would be helpful in deciding a shoe? So you're going to put that in your journal. And also don't forget to add the key vocabulary from the lesson. And I also want you to add this to your journal, okay? You may need to add a new slide or something, but what strategies do computer models use to make decisions? If you didn't learn that in this lesson, were you even really trying?